Yeah, Geek Soul Brother, GSB, Henry, whichever.
Okay, cool. Henry,
whichever case.
I'll keep the allure going. So
there you go.
Keep the mystery wrapped under that.
Keep the mystery going. That alien visitation.
Exactly, because I mean that's what your icon is. It looks like a little alien with an afro. So yeah.
FX presents the Indoob podcast with your host, T. Sterling Watson.
Good morning, Indoobians. I am T. Sterling Watson. This is the Indoob podcast. Thank you for stopping by and pressing play. This is week 14 over 105, so that means you should have 105 in the savings bank if you're doing the 52-week challenge, even though I recently just discovered a new take on that 52-week challenge, and that's basically just doing the savings in reverse. Had I known that, I think I would have tried it that way. But there's always next year, so we'll do it then. But yeah, we're going to move on. We got a great show lined up for you today. I say lined up, and it's literally lined up on my pad. I have it here. This and that. And yeah, right now I'm just super excited because I just got a brand new kind of mic stand situation thing going on. It looks a little homemade, but I'm excited about it. So I'm just sharing my elation with you, even though you're like, mic stand? Yeah, whatever. But yeah, I'm excited. So I'm trying that out today, so I'm looking a little bit even more professional. So I'm excited. But yeah, we got a full episode. My guest, Geek Soul Brother, will be on just shortly. He is a Twitter blerd. He is a founder or the founder of Saturday Night Sci-Fi or hashtag Saturday Night Sci-Fi. If you want to put the hashtag in there, it's basically we just get together and we watch science fiction movies on usually Netflix or Crackle or YouTube, wherever he finds them. We all gather together and we watch them and live tweet together. We get into it more later, but he got me started doing the Fringe Fridays, which I've gone on talking about before. And of course, we co-hosted the Daredevil live tweet. So we also did, what's that other one? The other Marvel show. I'm looking at Chief as if he's supposed to help me. Not Daredevil, but the other one. Yes, Jessica Jones. Yes, that show. So yeah, we go on and we talk quite a bit about blerdy things. So this is a very nerd-centric episode. So get ready to nerd out with us. Some things I really wanted to get into this episode, but it's just I didn't want it to be too long, so I'm going to save it for the next episode, as well as some more Geek Soul Brother. Actually, he's going to be in the next episode too. But there's going to be finally another installment of Diner Dash or Diner Dish. See, I knew I was going to do that. I knew I was going to call it that stupid game. I say stupid game because that's not what I wanted to say. I wanted to say Diner Dish, but Diner Dash came out. Anyway, my family reviewed the movie Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, and we all talked about it. So I was going to put that in this episode, but it's just too much, and I didn't want the episode to be too long. So I'm going to save it for the next time, even though I think so many people are probably sick of hearing about that movie, but you're going to get some more of it in this episode too, a little bit. So, you're going to keep hearing it. I don't care. I do care, but yeah. So yeah, enough of my jibber jabber. Let's just get on with the show because we had a great chat and I want to share it with you guys. And if you're new to the show, hi, I'm T. Sterling Watson, but that was my introduction. So yeah, this show is just all over the place sometimes, but that's the fun of it because you just never know what's going to happen. What is he going to say next? What is he going to do next? I don't know. I just don't know. But let's get on with the show anyway. Okay, cool. And like, do you have an origin story? Like, where did Geek Soul Brother come from? Like, who are you? What?
You know what? It's just like my bio says. I'm a Christian brother from the 60s and 70s that loves sci-fi, fantasy, horror. Grew up with all that stuff, and one day I have aspirations of becoming a filmmaker.
Oh, okay.
telling stories through film, through, several different medium. And as I was doing some research as to how you get your, stories out there and films out there, it was like, well, one way is to build an audience. So I said, well, I could build an audience. I could try building an audience. So that's where Geek Soul Brother, the stirrings has started. Because I figured I'd do a blog, do a podcast, do the YouTube, and eventually, get to where I want to get to where I had an audience.
Yeah,
exactly. Now, and the first thing was just a brand, right? Create like something that represented me, but that was fun and kind of catchy to the eye, catchy to the ear. So, I spent a little time, and that's how I came up with Geek Soul Brother, old black geek.
Which encompasses all the things, you're a geek, got soul, and your brother. So,
right, exactly. But I didn't want to hit the nail on the head with it. Hit it too hard. So that's where, instead of calling myself, like I said, instead of calling myself old black geek, so
right.
I try to put a little spin on it, get it universal and stuff. So yeah, and it was supposed to be a vehicle, but it became a thing in itself where, I appreciated the connections I was making and, all the social media love that I was getting and stuff like that. So I was like, you know what? Geek Soul Brother's here to stay.
Yeah, it definitely is. And you have made quite a connection, a presence, as definitely, because I mean, I'm talking to you now, and I like a year ago, I didn't even know the term blerd existed until I think like Saturday Night Sci-Fi started, which we'll get into because like how long have you actually been blogging and podcasting? I'm pretty sure one came after the other, but
I started blogging in I believe May of 2011. And then the podcast started a year later. I started podcasting about a year later, somewhere in March of 2012, I believe. And I jumped on Twitter. I think it was late 2011. It's 2011, somewhere late 2011, early 2012. I jumped on Twitter.
I was saying, there are actually apps that could tell you exactly like your first tweet and all that stuff.
Yeah. So
yeah, you can go back and check that and see like, oh yeah, that was the first. And it'd be interesting to find out what that is. I forgot what mine was. I looked it up recently.
I have to make a wiki page and put all that information on.
Oh yeah, that would be pretty interesting. And then you could have all the I guess the next question would be, you could have all the Saturday Night Sci-Fi movies that you featured, even though that is on your website, which is geeksoulbrother.com. Is that?
Yes.
All right. Just want to make sure. Got a plug in there. There'll be several throughout the night. But yeah, you do have a page that lists all the Saturday Night Sci-Fi features. How did that start?
Saturday Night Sci-Fi, you know what? Jamie, aka Black Girl Nerds, she was doing her live tweets, and she'd be featuring like, different content and stuff.
Right.
And then Ashley of Graveyard Shift Sisters on Twitter, at Graveyard Shift Sisters, she did a Friday Night Horror. And I was like, Friday Night Horror is awesome. Yeah. So I was checking in on that, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do a sci-fi one, and I'm going to just do it. And it's funny, Watson. I planned on doing it for like 3 months. I was like, let's see how this rolls, and I just started it, and I kind of ran with what Ashley was doing with Graveyard Shift, and I was like, yeah, Saturday Night Sci-Fi, Friday Night Horror, this goes hand in hand. We're all friends online and stuff, so that's how it started. It started
it was supposed to be for 3 months, and now it's been over a year now, and it's still going strong, I'd say. People looking forward to it.
I was really surprised at the response to it, But then again, Watson, one of my missions when I made Geek Soul Brother, it just wasn't about building an audience and eventually having an audience for film ideas and stuff. I really had a passion to tell people about old sci-fi, new sci-fi, underrated stuff that people haven't seen, independent, fantasy things, horror.
Just gives us more exposure to all this stuff.
Exactly, particularly old, because like I said, I'm an older brother, so I run into a lot of younger cats that they haven't seen a lot from like the 70s, even the 80s. And I asked her, did you see the Omega Man?
Right.
Did you see did you see any of the major classics, Alien, Close Encounters? Some people didn't see Star Wars, which is fine. I'm not hating.
We won't point any fingers to anybody who hasn't seen it, but there
exactly. I'm not going to. Well, at first I did, but I've since learned not to nerd shame people, so I'm not going to shame them. But there's so much content out there that people haven't seen because either they were born later, they just missed it, or whatever. And I'm like, you know what? That's one of my missions to really show people
and really enlighten them, and show them all these things.
Enlighten them, yeah.
And I mean, with that, just the fact that. Because this is definitely a topic I wanted to bring up with you, that there is so much content out there. I mean, movies alone. Yes, there are so many movies that are coming out now that have been out for decades that we just haven't seen yet, or is there enough time? But the TV shows are getting more awesome, I'd say. And then we've got streaming services like Netflix and Hulu bringing us great content. And that's just visual content. But then we also got podcasts and bloggers and books and comic books, magazines, and how are we to consume all this?
We can't. I about 2 years ago, I settled on the truth that there's no possible way that we can within our lifetime consume it all, because it's still coming. Like it's. As soon as you finish one thing, two more things, it's just multiplying like amoebas.
Yeah, it's so hard to keep up. But I'm trying.
It's so hard to keep.
But
you know what? I've decided to try and see the best things, and a lot of fellow geeks I've heard too. They'll give a show like one watch.
Yeah.
My rule is 4 episodes and I'm either down or I'm out.
Yeah, I do 3. But
yeah, exactly. And that just came because I wasn't watching Stargate SG-1.
Okay.
With Richard Dean Anderson. And I passed on it because it looked kind of cheesy. I love the original movie. And then it was following, I think, X-Files or something like that when it was playing on reruns. And after like 3-4 episodes, I was like, I'd like this. And ever since then, that was years and years ago. Ever since then, I was like, you know what? 4-episode rule, decide if I like it. But a lot of geeks are given stuff like 1 episode, 2 episodes. And if it's not clicking, they're dropping it because they know that something's coming down the road that's better,
right?
Or their plate's just so full.
And I think that's what it is, because there is so much, and you only have so much time to watch whatever it is. And like if your attention isn't grabbed, then it's like, hey, I've got other things I could be watching right now, or doing.
Right. And thank goodness for binging now. The world of binging, so it kind of saves us a little bit. But yeah, there's no way that we're going to catch up. There's so many good books that I'll probably never read, so many TV shows, music. I mean, just music alone, like people are producing really great pieces on their own,
right?
And it's like whatever,
And there's just no way. But again, we try. But what is it that you are working on, actually? Because you said you wanted to be a filmmaker, and you working on, I guess, videos. I saw you on Periscope the other day. So what do you got going on?
That's it. I'm trying to get used to the visual medium now, where I think I'm I'm really comfortable with podcasting, and my writing's pretty comfortable too. I get on the keyboard and I bang out a couple ideas, and people seem to enjoy it, or reviews or whatever. Now it's all about YouTube. It's all about getting out there. I still have a little hesitation, I guess, but that's because I'm just figuring out who I am on YouTube. How I want to be on YouTube. But at some point I feel like you'll be comfortable again, because everybody that follows me, the fans and stuff like that, they just give me such positive responses, man, that it's just great. That's one thing about creating Geek Soul Brother. I had no idea that it would be such a positive community. Like yourself, I didn't know about the word blerd until about maybe a year and a half in. It was starting to go through the community, that type of definition and stuff. And I was like, okay, that sounds pretty cool. And I wrote a piece about it. Do black nerds need the word blerd? And I just kind of gave the idea that, if you don't like it, that's fine. But it is a good word to consolidate who we are and what we're about, and not to be separatist, not to necessarily be separatist, but to be, celebrating culture.
Right. I found it as I found my tribe or my group. Like I found a place to belong. And I just wanted to jump back quickly. The article that you wrote, could that be found somewhere? Like where you wrote it?
Yeah, geeksoulbrother.com. Just look up. I think the title is "Blerd. Do Black Nerds Need the Word?"
Okay.
So if you look up blerds, or look up black nerds, you should be able to find it among a couple other pieces that I wrote.
Cool. If you do hear barking in the background, that is Chief. Just letting everybody know that.
What's up, Chief?
Yes, he actually had a birthday yesterday, so he's
that's nice.
Been with the family 3 years, and you have a dog as well, so.
Yeah, it's a Doberman, and he's much too loud to podcast with.
But yes, you do understand the dog life, because there are times that we'll both have our live tweets, which, by the way, Fringe Friday did spawn out of Saturday Night Sci-Fi, and that's been going pretty well. They probably end this year. I don't know what I'm going to do after it's over, but
I appreciate you taking the mantle after suggesting it.
Oh, well, because it's such an awesome show. It's I believe that's one of the first shows I think I may have started live tweeting when it was on the air, and that's I think that's one of the first times like a show has really utilized Twitter to that effect with live streaming, or not live streaming, of live tweeting, and and I mean, it showed they had their own special hashtags in the corner when it was airing, so there was a little secret club of people who were watching Fringe. They could use that hashtag to follow along with the show.
Was I even on Twitter at that time? I forget. I think I was towards the end. Towards the last season.
Yeah, it's a great show.
It's an awesome show.
It is. I don't even really have words other than of how awesome it is. I'm drawing a blank all of a sudden.
And I was actually thinking the other day, I wonder what Watson's show is going to be next. What are we gonna, I don't know. Look, I've been wanting to do Battlestar Galactica, but nobody's streaming it for. Well, Hulu's got it now, so
I've never seen it. And I think you.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, I think you, I may have seen maybe commercials here and there, and I thought it was hey, it looks kind of cheesy, so I didn't go any further with it because I just didn't. I just judged it like that and moved on. Which I know better now. I know better not to do that because there's a lot of things I've overlooked. So
no nerd shame, but Battlestar Galactica to me is one of the top 3 sci-fi shows ever to be on TV. Basically because it's dealing with all the human struggles that we deal with today. It put them in that universe beautifully. Ron Moore is he's a real genius with that. And it kind of brings back the science fiction to Star Trek, where they dealt with racism, they dealt with war, they dealt with, all kinds of different social Battlestar took it like 3-4 times higher in levels.
Oh wow.
So
okay.
the drama, season 3 dipped a little bit, but there was still that drama there, and then it came back, and it really is a good show from beginning to end, I think.
All right, well, yeah. I will definitely, I'll put it on the list, so it'll get that, because before,
put it on there and move it up.
Yeah, move it up. Okay, I'll I don't even know what's on the list right now, but at least it's in my radar, because it's a show that I've heard about, and I've only heard about it from people that like it. I've never heard anything bad about it, so
right,
yeah, it's in that kind of odd category.
I mean, a few people thought that so the just real quick, the main series was 5 episodes, and that turned into like, I think 180-minute, pilot, I guess you could say.
Okay.
And or something like that. It's a really long pilot, but then the series itself starts with an episode called 33, and that's where the actual TV series starts at. So if you want to jump in at the, either one, the mini series into the series, or if you want to jump in series, you'll get it as soon as some people felt like it was a little boring at first, but then the action picked up. I thought it was good. I thought it was good.
I'm a little bit of a purist, so I'll probably try to start at the beginning if I can, but I'll take your advice and jump in there. That is if I can find it. You said it's on Hulu, which I currently don't have.
So it's unfortunately, it's Hulu Plus, but it's almost worth it. I'm this close to getting Hulu Plus. Just even though I got the DVDs at home, I kind of want to see who's on Hulu Plus, and maybe Saturday Night Sci-Fi one day.
Yeah, though they've got some good things, and there's definitely reasons to get Hulu Plus. I think I'm just waiting for enough. I mean, like I said, there's just going forth and getting that account, but it's like I have too many already, and trying to just keep up with all of Netflix's content. So it
goes back to what you were saying. How do you fit it all in?
Right. Right.
And you're gonna actually pay for more that you can't watch.
Right. Exactly. And I don't want to. Although what was happening, I have a friend of mine who had a Hulu account, so I would share that password, or I think I would share like my Netflix password, and they would share their Hulu password. So at least it was evened out. But that person left the country, so they no longer have Hulu, so neither do I.
Oh,
yeah. So.
See, that's where the sharing stuff misses out.
Yeah, I'm not going to call them out. They do listen to the show, so I'm not going to call them. They know who they are. They know who they are. But and I'm not sliding them. They're actually doing a documentary project, which should be really awesome and coming down later sometime this year. So
that's nice. That's nice to hear.
But as for other things that have like live tweeting and great content. Have you finished Daredevil season 2?
I have. I finished it. This past Sunday? I finished the very last episode. I enjoyed it. Ended on a nice little, mini cliffhanger, so that was cool.
Yes. I felt also that they did a good job keeping the pace up. I think I still go back to that hallway scene, which is now this time a stairway scene. Just the whole fight going up the stair or down the stairs, actually. Like, how are they going to outdo it? And they did outdo what happened in season 1.
Yeah, season 1, the fight scene in the hallway reminded me of Old Boy.
Yes, it does.
Movie Old Boy, Korean film, and I, like you, I said, I thought that they would be able to outdo it. I just was curious as to how they would, would it be, like you say, a bigger hallway or, the whole building? So I guess they Raid Redemption that joint.
Yes, which is another film that I do get that reference. I've seen it. I liked it. But yeah, they did. So now, I think now my question is, okay, if I don't know if they've greenlit a season 3, but if they do, are we going to get another one-shot fight scene, and where is it going to happen? I want to see it. I want to see what they do next.
Yeah. They've set a precedent, and now they can't disappoint us.
Right.
And now they've locked themselves into a corner of one-shot awesomeness.
Right.
And they better deliver.
Mm-hmm. More importantly, though, I really would like to see a Punisher kind of series.
Yes. Punisher. And, I was going to put it on Twitter. I was going to try and start a hashtag. Basically, do you want Punisher, Ghost Rider, and Blade TV series, Netflix series? Yes or no? Retweet,
Mm-hmm.
And I just want Netflix to see, because Twitter's great because the companies can watch it and do easy analytics. Part of the reason why we're starting to see diversity is because communities like Black Girl Nerds was tweeting scandals so well under the hashtag, just creating so much buzz around it. And the Nielsen company that does the Nielsen ratings also started paying attention to Twitter.
Yes, they actually have a social Nielsen account which follows me.
Right.
I was supposed to be actually asking them questions because I was curious. I wanted to ask, do these hashtags matter? Or do we have an impact to save a show that's struggling in ratings?
They absolutely matter. Because they're looking at the numbers, and Twitter's so easy to analyze. Mm-hmm. And they can show those numbers to advertisers. Can't do anything without numbers,
right?
They can't. They can't do anything with popular opinion or public opinion or whatever. They need numbers in order to know that they can sell their products. And nobody was looking at Twitter before, without Nielsen. Mm-hmm. And the Nielsen ratings, just as soon as they incorporated it, you start to see more diversity. Because Twitter, let's admit, Twitter has a strong Black presence, a strong diverse presence, and it was starting to have an effect.
It definitely does. Yeah.
So that's where we're at now. Yeah, hashtags do a great job at telling people what we like, and that's what I want to do with Netflix and saying, I kind of want to start a hashtag, just basically telling Netflix, we want to see a Blade, a Ghost Rider, because Marvel got the rights back for both of those.
Okay.
And in addition to a Punisher series, we want to see it all. The entire Marvel Knights lineup. Just, just see all of it.
Yeah, and I mean, just more diversity, just more heroes, the ones that we're not used to seeing. Which I keep forgetting that Blade does, is a Marvel property.
Yeah,
I know it had a cartoon series. I think it might have been on Showtime or something a long time ago.
They had kind of like an anime-ish. I didn't watch it. But,
I didn't watch it either, but I saw and I think another reason why I never did is because I saw, I guess they put the set on a DVD, and I saw it in the bargain bin at Walmart. I'm like, oh wow, it must really not be good at all. So, but again, making judgments before actually, seeing.
Wait a minute, you never seen Blade either? See, this is why Geek Soul Brother exists.
I've seen the movies. I just haven't seen the animated ones.
Oh, the anime. I'm sorry, Waz. Okay.
Yeah, I had to clarify.
This is why I exist, to talk about this stuff.
Yes. I've seen the films. I love the films. I even like the third one, which I think some people had issues with. But I don't know.
It had some good points to it. Mm-hmm. It had a couple good things going on.
I admit I've only seen the third one maybe once, but out of the rest of them, it's a set. You got to watch them all together. So
yeah.
And I think when it comes to reviewing things, I'm usually leaning more towards the positive. There's very rare times I'll say oh wow, that really sucked, but most times I'm positive. Even with the Batman v Superman, I'm mostly positive. It's not great, but I like what you said in your Periscope. You weren't disappointed by it.
I wasn't disappointed. I didn't have high hopes, so it wasn't hard to, it wasn't hard to make me happy. But I'm like you, Watson. I don't I don't try and trash things just to trash them. There's always, and I'm looking at it also from a creative side. Like, you know, it's difficult to make films. It's not impossible to make a great film or good film. And if you're not watching, if there are too many cooks in the kitchen, of course the film has a tendency to be bad. But it's difficult. It's difficult for these directors or whatever to try and hit it right dead center. You know,
to give, you know, it's like kind of like they set what they want, and it's hard to do that.
Yeah, it's like they set out in a direction, and they kind of gotten in their heads what they want, you know, whatever. But due to forces, you know, maybe in their control or beyond their control, they kind of miss the center sometimes, you know, and that's okay. That's okay, because we got a movie with Batman fighting Superman.
Exactly.
Relax.
Let's take the win here. We finally got something that we wanted to see for years. We're finally getting a Justice League movie, which I've been hearing about since, well, like the last 10 years that kept putting in the works.
Exactly. And you know what? My childhood has not been ruined.
That's even
still intact.
Greater way to look at it. And yes, I mean, I can't say that for every movie, because there's some that I just won't go near because it just does not look good. The first one that came to mind, because you said childhood, I don't know why, but like the Garfield movies, the live action ones, I don't know why that came to mind first, but that's one that I'm not gonna probably touch because I don't want my childhood ruined. I liked the cartoon. But that's good.
Yeah, they were a miss. I didn't even watch the second one. I will. It wasn't that I didn't want to watch it. I just, like we said before, there's so much good stuff. You don't have time for something that's mediocre. You know, you'll get to it later. But as soon as you hesitate, that 1 minute, something else is awesome coming down. Like, oh, I'll look at it, you know, later, and it's like years later.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way, and like the only reason I would watch something that I like, I'll watch it later, is if I really have nothing to do. The TV was already on, and it just came on. I'm like, okay, I'll watch it, and then if it surprises me, then hey, I might go back and, you know, give it more time. But if I'm not, that actually happened the other night. The movie Torque came on. I remember when that came out, and it was like just when Fast and Furious, I think, maybe had its like Too Fast, Too Furious just came out or something. So they're all on the hype of let's get all these racer movies out there. And I was watching this one with my parents, and I'm like, wow, this movie is horrible. But at least I'm watching it, so I can actually judge why it's horrible and what was going wrong. I think that's what I was getting down to, is like, why does this movie suck? I don't want to just say this movie's awful. Let me dissect it and find out why. So.
And our nerd culture is so quick to judge and not even have seen a trailer, let alone the movie itself. And they're like, as soon as and I fall into it sometimes, like the immediate reaction from me personally when they mentioned Ben Affleck playing Batman, I was like, come on. And then I was like, wait a minute, you know what? Maybe, just maybe, you know, he's still stiff guy, but Batman's kind of stiff too. So.
And that was a collective surprise too, because I still remember where I was exactly. I was actually standing in a Home Depot in the aisle, and I read that bit of news, and I'm like, what? And just I was in disbelief. I'm like, you mean Ben Daredevil Affleck? No, I don't.
Right.
So yeah.
And everybody in Home Depot's like, why is that guy screaming to the sky?
It just. I was in disbelief, but he pulled it off. I was impressed. I'm ready to see what else he's got.
Yeah. His acting has improved, I gotta say.
Oh, and, yeah, it definitely has.
You know, his directing is very good. So yeah, he didn't disappoint. Like I said, he didn't disappoint. Gail Gadot was pretty good. Well, actually, she was awesome. I thought she was awesome. She had nice screen presence. You know, she had that Wonder Woman yell. She was cutting down. You know,
I mean, she basically stole any scene she was in. So, like, oh, yeah, she's on. Shut up, everybody. Let's just pay attention to what she's doing. Exactly. And she didn't say a word at sometimes, just giving looks. But even that spoke.
And I told Black Girl Nerds, I said, because she was questioning about Godot's acting and stuff like that. I said, Jamie, here's one thing to think about though. When they cast these films, they really think about like they don't just say, hey, would you come into our film? They go through the process. And Godot, I think Godot was saying how she had to wait like, a couple weeks or a month or something like that before she knew that she was going to be Wonder Woman. So in fact, I think Jamie had asked her a question at the Batman Superman panel, and basically said, she basically said it wasn't a quick process, for her.
It's like being vetted.
It's definitely being vetted because what the stakes are. You know that these characters are iconic, and you just got to find somebody that can do the role. And like you can't listen to public opinion all the time because it's all over the place. So yeah, I just felt like they probably treated it as a very important role that they had to fill, and somehow Godot just impressed them enough that she got the part. I was like, all right, I'm gonna trust the process, and I'm not going to talk about she's too skinny. I've since been sensitive to just being with Black girl nerds and stuff like that, connected with them. I have become sensitive with a lot of issues that not saying I'm a feminist. I'm still a dude, bro. Obviously, but I'm a dude, bro. Anonymous. I'm going to dude, bro, anonymous. Okay. Let's say,
and you have your what's the word? You're sincere, I guess, to like others.
Yeah.
So
I empathize with my brothers and sisters when it comes to issues and stuff. And I wasn't going to sit there and shame Gal Gadot saying that she was she was skinny. Okay, she's skinny, whatever. Can she do the role? She could always bulk up. I knew that, and she knows martial arts. I was like, give her a chance, They saw something in her. Obviously, we don't see something in her yet, but give her a chance. And we were treated to a nice Wonder Woman that I can't wait for. I'm hoping the movie is good.
Yeah, and I know it's going to be going back into her past, and I tend to, I don't know, when it comes to period pieces, I'm kind of meh about it. I wasn't too crazy about Captain America's first movie, even though watching it again,
superhero pieces.
Yeah, watching it again, it gets a little better. I'm talking about Captain America. Same thing, actually, of Batman and Superman. It got better the second time. But Wonder Woman, I know, is going to be somewhat of a period piece. So I'm not looking forward to that, but I am looking forward to the movie. So it's a weird position to be in. But that's just me personally. As long as we
get some awesome fights. Yes. That's all I want. I want to see the awesome fights. I want to see Gal Gadot kick Major behind.
More of what she did, and I just want to see more of what I saw. I just want to see more of that. So... Exactly.
And Themyscira. And I'm not going to mention, even though I mentioned it, I'm not going to mention that, those first shots of Themyscira with the lack of color.
Oh, right.
but again, let me reserve judgment. Yeah, we can judge that. There were women up there were pretty Caucasian looking.
Yeah.
And we'll wait and see,
Because I was just like, only one screenshot maybe. So maybe there's some others in the background, maybe.
Maybe there's some others, but I don't blame the sisters out there that are like, you know what? You had an initial chance to show show that part of the movie in a picture, and you didn't do it right. So, a lot of sisters are like, I don't think I'm gonna see it. If that's the first thing that they show me, I'm not feeling that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It with the knowledge that there's that Wonder Woman's second mother was Black. Her Olympian sister Nubia, is there, and it's like it's not like you're crying about anything. There are these characters that are well established that should be in the circle of the immediate cast,
right?
And you just not to see them is a red flag. So
But yeah, we'll just trust the system. We'll wait and see what happens. Jumping too far
bad
ahead.
System, but it's all we got right now.
It is. But I mean,
we can change it slowly.
It seems to be a trend though, where we will get maybe just a screenshot or a picture, and then all of a sudden the pitchforks come out. It's like, hey, let's calm down. It's only just a picture. Let's see what's coming out first. And already people are talking about banning things because it's just not up to what they expect it to be.
Yeah, be mad. Like that's fine. Be mad at the picture itself, but don't judge. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, there's other films out there, but I don't want to get into it. There's other people that's more qualified to talk about Nina Simone, but that's okay. We're gonna move on to to other things.
The indoob Podcast.
Hello, Indubians. I'm Laura, host of Loudavision, the podcast for visionaries, artists, and creatives. On my podcast, I'm interviewing fellow artists trying to figure out how we can bring our creative vision to life without compromising our values, crushing our soul, and dying poor. Yep, that explains it. You can listen to the Loudavision podcast on lauramioli.com and connect with me on Twitter @Loudavision.
Hey guys,
this is Ariel.
And this is Deeds
of Potluck Dinner Podcast.
Check us out on Podbean at potluckdinner.podbean.com.
And iTunes, search for us.
All right, see you there.
Bye.
Hey y'all, I'm Courtney Hinton of VerveHouseCollective.com. Verve House Collective is all about creatives, entrepreneurs, and those who want to live an awesome life full of intention. Again, that site is VerveHouseCollective.com, and we'd love to see ya.
That's another good thing too. Is like you can you're live tweeting. For those that don't know, I'm sure you guys know what live tweeting is, but you get on the same hashtag, everybody presses play at once, and we all watch something on Netflix or YouTube or whatever. But the great thing is that you can kind of get up, go do your thing, go back and read all the funny tweets and stuff like that. To me, live tweeting is kind of like Mystery Science Theater 3000, but everybody is sitting in the audience cracking on the movie.
Exactly.
Has that same appeal.
Which I do love. I still watch it now because I grew up watching that, basically. So once the whole live tweeting thing started, I'm like, hey, this is just like Mystery Science Theater 3000. And which I don't know if you know, they actually do live shows now.
The riff tracks. A buddy of mine who loves the stuff, he's been trying to get me to watch and stuff. I was not wholeheartedly. So here, Watson, is a generation gap.
Okay.
All the Mystery Science Theater movies, I watched like the original stuff. It was on TV, but I enjoyed them as they were. I didn't need the.
Oh, you didn't like them riffing on it.
Yeah, I enjoyed them. They were bad films, but I enjoyed them as they were, and I enjoyed the jokes of Mystery Science Theater. But at the same time, I'm like, yo, you're messing up the movie.
And it's actually funny you mentioned that because there were times when I was younger and I was watching with my mother and she was getting all into the movie and I'm sitting there watching for the jokes and not really paying much attention. Like, oh, you made a joke there. And I'm like, oh, but what about the woman? She's not safe. And I'm like, who cares about the woman? Let's watch it for the jokes. But yeah, it's
right. So because in the 70s, all this stuff was coming on. There were TV shows like Chiller and Monster Movie, like Monster Movie Theater or something like that, Monster Theater. And they would just show like these old black and whites of like these 50s movies and stuff like that. Things they would just show them, or Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon theater, rather. They would show like Fantastic Voyage, which is a great movie. I did that for Saturday Night Sci-Fi a while back.
Yeah,
and
I think it's still on Netflix. I wasn't sure if that was one they were taking off, but I haven't seen it yet. It might have been before I joined the crowd. And by the way, I want to thank you personally for making me one of your Power Rangers, I guess, for Saturday Night Sci-Fi. Times that you can't be there or you want to give the reins over to your ship.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, no, I trust you guys, and that's another thing is. Some of the stuff that I start, I would love to see continue, even if I move on to other things. I would love to see Saturday Night Sci-Fi continue because it's just so fun, and it's nice to show things to people where they haven't seen them before. Oh, I never seen Conan the Barbarian. What? Yeah, let's watch that. Come on, we gotta see Arnold and James Earl Jones in a bad wig. We gotta see that. You know.
And you know what? I think you actually gave me the idea. Well, it gave me an idea of what I'll do next after Fringe. So this will be an exclusive for the podcast.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Because I tried a Masterpiece Theater last year. I think it was around Christmas time. It was like in between maybe Fringe seasons, and I think you were doing the holiday thing that Saturday. You and Jamie, Black Girl Nerds.
Oh right, right.
And I think it was that Friday night, people were asking me if they're going to do Fringe. And I'm like, well, no, it's the holidays. Everybody's going to be, I think it might have actually been Christmas or around Christmas. Yeah. But I ended up doing a live tweet of His Girl Friday because it was Friday. Like one of my favorite classic movies. And I'm like, hey, I just need a live tweet.
The Cary Grant?
Yeah, Cary Grant. And the woman's name has escaped my mind right now. But it's on Netflix. It's actually on like a whole bunch of streaming services because it's in the public domain. So anybody could watch it. And
that's a great movie.
It is.
That's a great movie. Howard Hawks directed that, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So I think after Fringe is over, I just might bring back Masterpiece Theater, and I use the hashtag MP Theater. I think.
That's nice.
With the hashtag of the movie that we're watching. So
maybe my wife will finally get on Twitter and watch some. She introduced me to a lot of old films and stuff. So yeah,
because that's what I look for. I like the older movies, and I think I was looking for movies that weren't sci-fi because that's your realm. So I didn't want to if anything, I would suggest them to you. But 2001 is something that I think that's in the running. I don't know if that's official yet.
Yeah,
because that's one that would be fun to live tweet.
You know what? It's just like I tweeted the other day, Watson. It's so many films, not enough Saturdays.
Right.
That's basically what we're dealing with.
And sometimes we're limited.
Too many films, not enough Saturdays.
Because Netflix will, we're taking these licenses away, so we're not going to show this anymore. So.
Yeah,
but that does happen. But yeah, I think that's what I'll do after Fringe is over.
Hey, look, don't hesitate on the old sci-fi because if there's something good, like definitely like them and the Thing from Another World, and
I think the original Fly they still have. I think
the original Fly. What do you call it? The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Mm-hmm.
All great films, all great black and white films that I would be happy to see them on your hashtag.
All right, I'll definitely do that, and I'll also make sure.
Don't hold back. Don't hold back because of me.
Okay, and I'm also I'm going to coordinate with Graveyard Shift.
Graveyard Shift. I haven't seen her tweet anything black and white, so I think you're safe.
Oh no, I just didn't want to make sure I didn't do it on the same night, so that way
yeah.
So people don't have to I want to watch this horror movie, but I also want to watch this older movie.
Friday night horror, yeah.
So and that's something I think I might start changing with my Fringe tweets. Although the people that they usually hang around with us, but maybe I'll just do one episode and then join in with
it's funny because I tried a hashtag before. I think it was before Saturday Night Sci-Fi. I tried a hashtag called TV Pilot Tuesday.
Okay.
And I was just showing the pilots of TV shows, sci-fi fantasy TV shows.
That'd be interesting.
Or and it was working, but people people would get hooked on the show, but couldn't binge it within within a week, and then they have a new show, and something. And Tuesday started being great for like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and stuff like that. So
Flash
I said,
what,
Flash and stuff. So I said, all right, I'll skip that. And that after that, Saturday Night Sci-Fi popped up. But yeah, you're right. Talking about conflicts between like times and days and stuff. It's people don't know how strategic you have to be with your hashtags.
Right. And then just letting people know, and then building an audience, which I'm so glad for, like the blerd community. We all support each other. I can like tag you on a tweet and tag Jamie on a tweet, and they'll bring it to a larger audience, because I personally see you as one of these blerd celebrities that we have here.
I don't know how that happened.
I don't know either, but like, I'm glad I can call you a friend of mine. It's like, that guy, I know him. He's cool. But it's awesome. And I just love being a part of this community. It feels like not that I wasn't before, but that I do have like a home or something, or like, I got people. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's like all of us that are quote unquote black nerds, black geeks, or whatever, and just general geeks of color and stuff. In the United States, the geek community is seen as mostly Caucasian, mostly female, and sometimes we do run into a sea of Caucasoid nerdism, that we kind of feel like, not that we feel alone, because we connect with, we connect with the brothers and sisters on the other side of the melanin line, but it's different when you connect with somebody on several levels, the geek, the culture, you listen to Earth, Wind and Fire, and you're watching Dragon Ball Z, so
yeah, so, already you're my best friend already. So which by the way, through Saturday Night Sci-Fi, frequent guest of this show, that's how I met Courtney, who's been on the show several times. So
Courtney's awesome. Another Power Ranger. Courtney's awesome.
Yes. So I had to give her a shout out, and Verve House Collective. So yes.
Yeah. Awesome. No, it's the connective lines between us, and like I said, sometimes we just we don't see ourselves, too much. Too many times I've heard about people talking about, I was the only one I saw at the con, or I was the only one on this panel, or blah blah blah, and it's like, it still happens. It's big. Jamie's got 60,000 followers, and still there are so many black girls out there that think that they're alone. Black girl nerds that think that they're alone because they haven't discovered the communities yet. So I'm grateful that we're, kind of connected and getting our voices out there. And now my mission is to tell black people that don't want to admit that they're nerds.
I've already been doing it. I've been working on my family. I've been telling my father, my brother-in-law, I was like, you two are blerds. You are like major Star Trek people. You love all of the superhero movies. You guys are blerds. All of you. Actually, my whole family, my mother and my sister, they're all of them. But I know I want to let you go pretty soon. The last thing I wanted to talk about, because you were there, was the Blackfinity Gauntlet. Now that's nobody. I don't want to say nobody knows what that is, but like, could you explain what that is and what that was all about? As we were just discussing, like the community of blerds, but like break that down. What that experience was like.
No, absolutely. Big Baba Rob, one of the hosts of the Black Geeks, which is you can find them. You can find them at theblackgeeks.com. You can find them on Blog Talk Radio. They do a podcast and stuff. And he suddenly had an inspirational idea to have black podcasters meet up in Philadelphia at Amalgam Comics and Coffee House. And it just turned into such a nice event, like between like 100 and 200 people,
Wow.
came in and out and came through the comic shop, and we had a nice panel, and we were the other blerds that, you can get into podcasting and how to do it, and just encouraging. It's just a very encouraging meetup. And immediately they were talking about making it annual. And it's just everybody showed up. I even got to see one of my co-hosts that I had not seen like physically ever.
Wow.
I got a few co-hosts that I've never met in person.
Yeah, your 5 nerdy venoms, yes.
In my 5 nerdy venoms. Now it's more nerdy venoms, but yeah. and it's some of them, one of them lives in Canada, another one lives in Virginia and Kentucky, and they're spread out, and the magic of Skype allows you to come together and do a show. But the Black Podcast Meetup was just awesome. The energy was great. The information was great. The connections. Shout outs to Ariel Johnson, who owns Amalgam Comics. She was great to have a space for us, And Bob Rob did his thing. He really pulled it together.
Wow,
and
that's awesome.
Just the best thing about us is just seeing us all together. And it's not just Black Geeks, but it's Black Geeks at Podcasts.
Right. Right.
So it was a nice event. Which
I guess if it's annual, I definitely want to get there next year. Because I've only
it's going to be they were like, oh, Nick, this is going to be a summit. It's going to be the Black Podcasters Summit meeting every year. Woo!
Oh, wow, that's
like,
amazing,
right.
Though. Wow. Because I mean, that's like almost like our personal con, basically.
Yes.
Because there definitely, it seems like they keep adding more cons each year because there's just so many of them. There used to just be, at least to me, there's just the San Diego Comic Con, but now
right.
WonderCon, DragonCon, the list goes on. So
yeah, they were there, but what's fun is that you discover them.
Yeah, okay.
As you connect with people and stuff, you end up discovering like all these little cons, even local cons, even local things.
Mm-hmm.
You end up discovering another leg of my mission to expand Geek Soul Brother is to really get some events going. I've been a little slowful in it, but I really want to get some events. Part of my thing is just to see Black people that are nerds, just see them connect, come together, and produce something, you know, because that's our major thing, right, Watson, is that we're looking at all this content, but
you kind of want to make your own a little bit. Yeah,
exactly. Where's our stuff? Like Black Panther's coming out, and that's great. But where's, like we got Maya Glick, who's about to release her Storm fan film.
Okay. Yeah, I think I actually saw a tweet about that a couple days ago.
Yeah. She's been working. She's been working. She was really in the spotlight, and then she kind of fell behind, fell into the trenches of putting the movie together and stuff like that. Now, finally, she's saying that's going to come out in a few weeks. But, it's like we're watching all this content. We enjoy everything, but it's like we got stuff sitting on the table, too.
Right.
We got tons of stories written. Our computers are filled with ideas. Me, myself, my whole sheet of, eventual film ideas or whatever that I want to do is just, it's like 100 ideas that I just want to, that just keep adding to and want to do at least a couple of them, know?
Yeah,
So.
I know what that is. And I mean, I even have people, my pinned tweet, which has now been pinned there for like a year, is just basically a concept of an idea of a show that I would like to do. And people are telling me, hey, I will fund this. And I still haven't even finished writing it yet. So
right, exactly. It can go off of an idea, a simple idea, but it's so many things that that we have sitting. There's so many Black storytellers and screenwriters and authors, and we got a lot of stuff. So I just want people to connect and like I said, not in a separatist sense, but just see the Black community elevate itself in media to a point where everybody can enjoy the content that we have to offer as well as everybody else. You know, I love Korean content, you know?
Right. And even with us getting, like, I'll just say, like, the blerd content out there, then that will let other blerds that don't even know that, you know, a community exists.
Exactly.
These people, they're speaking my language, and yeah, so they can connect with that. But I definitely have to have you back on again, so we can get into more.
Yeah, anytime, man. Just anytime. Just let me know. I'm like I said, you know my schedule now, so
yeah, we'll definitely get into some more, definitely some more nerdy things, and even just food stuff too. I have to get a follow up if you've checked out these Oreo Thins or Boom Chocolatas. So
I met a young girl the other day at my job. She never had ice cream soda. I looked at her like she had two heads.
I'll plead the fifth on if I've ever had one. So but
as soon as I said it, I said, wait a minute.
I had my opportunity. I had my opportunity when I was younger, but I was really, really picky back then. Had it been brought to me now.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I understand that. I'm saying she never heard of one.
Oh, okay. Well, I've at least heard of it. I just was like, no, I don't want none of that mess.
Never heard of an ice cream. She looked at ice cream in soda? Ew.
Wow.
So I understand if you saw it and you're like, I don't know about that. That's fine.
Okay,
that's just a little hurdle.
Okay, yes. Because I was super picky as a kid, but I'm much more like apt to try things. But yeah.
That's fine. That's just like my son was. Now he tries everything.
I think it's a learning thing, but yes. But again, I thank you so much for being on. And yeah, we'll definitely have you on again.
I appreciate it, Watson. I appreciate it. No problem. Anytime.
All right. Thanks. And once again, I want to thank my guest, Geek Soul Brother, for stopping by and visiting and chatting with me. And again, you'll hear him next week. And I want to thank you all for listening. Please be sure, again, to follow him. Go on his website, geeksoulbrother.com. Follow him on Twitter. Hang out with us on Saturday Night Sci-Fi and Fringe Friday. And Friday Night Horror when that happens. And 90s live tweet when that happens. But again, you'll know if you follow us, you'll find out when these things happen on Twitter. But again, you can search for my stuff, my podcast, my blog. I'm on Stitcher, I'm on Outbreaker, I'm on YouTube, and of course on Twitter. But thanks again. I'll see you all next week. And remember, if the world didn't suck, we'd all fall off.
Was recorded on planet Earth and is an extension of the Indoob blog found at indoob.com. You can subscribe and find more episodes on iTunes and indoob.podbean.com. You can also follow Master Sterling on Twitter at indoob. I am not allowed. This is Bilford signing off, and this has been another 3SFX production.
Use your words, Chief. Good boy.